Okay, everybody, well, welcome to the final week of the Web Volume 4.0 contest. This is the actual final week, so all of the results need to be reported by Friday. And don't worry, we're going to go over all of the logistics for that and other important dates that are coming up over the next couple of weeks at the end of tonight's webinar. But what we wanted to do, because there are so many upcoming dates and things that I wanted to give you guys an option to ask questions around and have them fresh in your mind, is we're going to reverse our order of the presentation. So we're actually going to start off with a case study tonight, and we will be featuring the incredible Sue Gilad. And if you don't know who that is, well, maybe you're living under a rock, but anyway, she's an executive supervising coordinator and, a web center extraordinaire. In fact, I remember when I first started engaging with the web center program as a web center owner. It was at a major event. I had purchased I don't know if it's A Out Living magazine or N, it's an H, a magazine, and I saw her picture in there talking about the power of the Web Center program, and I just remember looking at her and saying, I want to be just like that. She was incredible. She was incredibly inspirational to me. And she continues to do what she says, and that's what kind of makes her so special and so incredible. She's out there building, still selling. In fact, I just had all of our top seller numbers sent to me because I want to figure out who I want to call and talk to about coaching on the next round of the contest. And I want to work with people that are selling now. And of course, she's on there. She's also won two previous first place prizes for our first and second web volume round, and has donated her time as a coach on this session, has duplicated herself, and honestly is just an overall incredible person. I can't tell you guys enough about her. One time I was at Barnes and Noble's and I was reading this book, and it was all about real estate. And it was part of the For Dummies franchise. And I texted her. I said, "Ha ha, you must know a lot about real estate," thinking that it was just a duplicate name. But nope, she was the author. She's just an incredible human being, and I'm excited to learn from her tonight, and I hope that you are as well. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and unmute Miss Sue so that we can start off with her case study for tonight. All right, Sue, are you ready to have at it for Heart to Heart Childcare?
So ready to have a heart to heart with you.
I love it. All right, so it's wicked conversational like we've been doing, and I'm just going to ask you some questions and just share a little bit about how Heart to Heart went from wherever they were to this absolutely beautiful website. I should have shown the before. They had a before as well that was very wordy and not as beautifully designed as this one is. This one's really great looking. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about how you got from A to B with this company? Where did you meet this candidate, and how did you approach them?
So I'm a really big fan. First of all, Sarah, I love what we're doing now with local businesses and giving them the power to have a website that competes on a national and an international level. So I realize that I can't be everywhere at once. So I guess I could say I enroll all the other moms around me to sort of be on the alert for websites and people who can really use our services. So this is actually a school that my friend's child goes to, and so she knew the owner and made an introduction. And he had a website, but it was, as you...
Hold on one second. You're popping out there.
Okay, you
There
got
you
me?
go. That's better. Yep.
So we just asked the owner questions about his online web presence, and was he looking to expand the school? What was he doing about that? So he started to say he didn't know how to market the school online. He had just opened the school a few years back because he loved kids and he knew nothing about marketing. So then we just started to talk about how to get his name out there, what were his objectives, did he have any information that we could share with other parents that might be looking for a place to send their children. So I think he liked that we were interested in wanting to help him grow the school and get the word out that he had openings.
Awesome. So that's really cool. So that says a lot, you guys. I mean, I think that a lot of times we make the mistake of thinking that all of the prospecting that we do has to come solely from us, but I mean, Sue, obviously you're the queen of time leverage, and that's a really important point. Like she's got her parents and other people in her network on alert about what she does so that if they come across people that might be a good candidate for her to talk to, they can connect them. And that's what networking really is all about. And so I'm really glad that you said that, Sue. I think a lot of people, when they're first starting off with our program, think that the only people that they should be talking to about web centers is or are business owners. And talking to your network, your friends, your family, the people that you know in your community about what you do can be just as valuable, which, case in point, you've met this client through somebody else that you know. So it sounds like they weren't very marketing savvy, and it sounds like you were edified very well because somebody that knew them or had a child that went there recommended you. So that's really great. I mean, the groundwork was set, the rapport was somewhat built already. What do you think it was that ultimately inspired them to go ahead and schedule an appointment with you?
Because he was too busy during the, because you know what, Sarah, let me give you the straight answer on this. I don't give another option. I never share any of my expertise to be, well, you know me, you know I don't actually have any expertise about MA Web Centers. My job is to listen, ask a million questions about him, offer absolutely no advice, and book the appointment. That is the next step. And that's what I tell him. After I ask the questions, I'm sure to take all my notes, and then I'm like, great, we have enough notes here. I know exactly what our next step is, and our next step is to book the appointment. Let's do that when you don't have kids at school.
And that's another big thing. I mean, you picked a time where you knew he wasn't going to be interrupted. Obviously, with toddlers running around, it's going to be pretty challenging to focus on marketing your business, right? I mean, other things are going to take priority at that time. And I think that's another really big point to take note of, everybody, is she said she didn't give them another option. And, she's very clear on the fact that the next step is an appointment. And so when you're very clear with that for yourself, you can communicate that very clearly as well. And it just lets the business owner know what they should do next. They're not guessing what they should do next. And I'm sorry, Sue, but for as much as and I know that you know more than what you led on to, because you've listened in to hundreds of demos at this point. And um, and I know that it took some restraint at first when you started to learn more, not to give away too much information. But I think too many web center owners feel like they have to share way too much information during this prospecting process, and as a result, they don't get that appointment that they need to actually close the deal. So really, really cool stuff there. I mean, guys, you have to hold back. You have someone on the line that sold hundreds of websites that's still only selling appointments. And I get that all the time. So that's the only reason I'm kind of reiterating that for you, Sue, is we get those questions all the time. Well, I've been doing this a long time. Do you think I should be giving better answers? Well, the best answer is to schedule an appointment, because that's when you're going to have enough time to actually be focused on the content, where if you're just, like you said, talking about it during a time where they're trying to run their business, they're not going to be able to. So, can you tell us a little bit about how the appointment went, and what was the big selling points for them, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, for sure. So first, I'll tell you that the client purchased right on the call because he really does run a business and he's hands-on. And as soon as our team offered the possibility that everything would be done for him, he was all in. He purchased the site along with a 10-page design questionnaire. He wanted an interactive calendar. He wanted to feature school closings, trips, lunch menus, school forms, and he also purchased basic SEO so he could be seen on Google. And I think what he liked best is that someone was going to take the onus off of him, create something that was a reflection of the school now. And that was actually a big selling point in particular with this client, Sarah, because he has he has a preschool, which means parents are in their 20s and 30s, which means these are parents who grew up with an internet. So they're going to make very strong judgments based on how his website looks, and he knows that. So that was probably as big a selling point as what we offer at MA Web Centers.
That's a really good point. It's just thinking about the people that are actually scrubbing the web for his service. That's a really, really big point. And that's another thing. I think a lot of people, I don't know if you've noticed on the results, but we're selling a ton of websites. We're selling a ton of DMP. But the ratio of design center packages to the ratio, excuse me, to the amount of websites sold is really low. And I just think a lot of people don't even mention that or don't tell the product specialist to focus on that because they're thinking, oh, well, they'd rather save money. But I think you're right. I think a lot of business owners would rather have a website that reflects their business and also take the pressure off of them to have to come up with some sort of creative design that gets the job done. So, also really great points. So they decided to go with having the site done for them. It sounds like they're a little busy running their business, and they were more interested in the service being done for them in terms of SEO, design, and setup versus doing it themselves. Good stuff. So it sounds like they already purchased additional products, the SEO. Have they led you to, I know this is a fairly recent client, but have they led to any additional prospects or website leads or business leads or anything like that?
Actually, yeah, one of the students' father asked the owner who did his website because he has a limo business and he was also looking for a better online presence. So we're in conversation now, and that's something that I want to share with you all as well. That I'm never in a crazy rush to necessarily book the appointment on the first call. This guy called me. He called us. Okay, great. We'll dialogue about it. I'll ask him his time frame, and then I'll book an appointment that's according to his time frame, not my time frame.
Right, that's huge, guys. I mean, and here's the deal, like any kind of community oriented or service oriented business where just the nature of their business or their organization requires people to kind of meet each other, interact, and build a relationship is an awesome network opportunity for you. When you think about temple or church or any kind of not-for-profit or hairdressers or childcare organizations, dance studios, karate studios, all of those places require people to interact all the time. And so people will ask those kinds of questions, and that's why this kind of thing happens. So I always say that whenever you sell a website to a business or an organization like this kind, it always leads to several sales and more business relationships over the years just because of the nature of how people interact within them. So that's really kind of a cool testament. And then, I tried to, I wonder if I can get that video to play here, but do you want to tell us a little bit about how the website improved their business?
Well, the design team did a great job here. They designed such an interactive website for the client that now he has less hands-on for parents asking him for forms, lunch menus, permission slips, school closing, upcoming dates of things. Now they can just go to the website for that information. So he also got designed a custom form so that new prospective parents can book school tours right through his website. And now he's getting calls from people finding him online to come check out the school, and he's ranking really well on Google.
And that's
So it's I can't even tell you, Sarah, that the add-on services that were added this year from MA Web Centers that I know you spearheaded are invaluable in just making it so effortless for everyone to truly have a turnkey business.
I love that. Thank you so much. And I know, I mean, I know that we had a video on this, but for some reason it kept like loading and then being garbled, which is why they wouldn't play it at the other thing. And so I should have test run it before. But in any case, I really appreciate your time, Sue. I mean, like I said, you've won two of these contests before, and you've been such an inspiration to so many people, myself included. And I know that I've learned a lot from you over the years, and we all continue to do that. So thank you so much for your time. And if you feel like, throwing anything else in there later, just raise your hand in the queue and I'll unmute you.
Thanks, Sarah. You're the best.
All right, talk to you soon. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much to Sue. So she's incredible, right, guys? I mean, if anybody could be the epitome of how to network through people to get to people, it's her. And so I don't know if you guys caught all that, and I tried to just stop and kind of reiterate, but again, so many of her sales have that similar story where she's talking to somebody that she's either doing business with or has been a referral from somebody that was doing business with someone else. And so it's interesting. It's, everybody has their thing that they're good at. And I think that Sue's really great at connecting people. And one of the things that I definitely believe contributes to her success is how clear she is about what she does and what our team does. And so when she's talking to people, it's just like recommending any of her favorite restaurants or services. She's just so, her clarity is just so on point. And so when she recommends our team and she says they're going to take care of you, let me get you an appointment. It's, there's nothing uncertain about that. And so these candidates are not asking her technical questions, and if they are, she's so clear on her answer that she just deflects that and says, listen, she redirects them and says, that's a great question, I'll write it down, and the team will answer that for you. And as a result, she gets so many appointments. And it's just like the business, you guys. If you can get people in the seats, then you can actually have their time and be able to share the proper amount of information and answer questions. That's when you actually can be successful. And so, it's really great to hear from people like Sue and like Russell and other top sellers that continuously still focus on selling appointments, because I think that sometimes people feel like as if they're new or whatever, that we're asking them to sell an appointment because that's the easier thing to do. And it's not, and yeah, it is the easier thing to do, but it's also the most profitable thing to do, because if you can sell an appointment, you can sell enough time to actually sell a web solution or sell a digital marketing product, if that makes sense. Okay, so we are going to move forward and we're going to talk about a few other things. So the rest of tonight's session is going to be dedicated to the next thing. So we're going to talk about always be building. We'll talk about the assessment that I want you guys to take of yourselves. This is a confidential thing that's really just information for you to evaluate where you excelled and where maybe you would like to make improvement the next time we go about this. Some follow-up and other efforts that we're going to make into 2016. And then at the very end of the session tonight, I'm also going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into the next web volume contest, which is going to be a team-oriented contest. It's going to be different with some changes like we always do. We're always, making adjustments to our approach to field development based on what we need and based on what's working and based on where we'd like to see some additional support. So with that being said, let me show you what the assessment looks like. The assessment is a way for you to assess your personal engagement, meaning the activities that you've done or maybe haven't done that were, result producing activities, how many of those appointments actually happened and what results were had. And so if you open up your 12-week action plan and you skip to the last section, it's this chart and this assessment is there. And so we ask you to just do a personal assessment to find, again, where did you excel and where might you want to improve? Did you attend the Monday night webinars? Give yourself a rating. 0 if you never did, and 5 if you always did, and take some notes. What were some of the challenges? What did you take away from that? What would you like to see more of? Did you submit results every single week? 0 to 5, yes or no? Did you engage in the Facebook group? Or were you, by the way, engaging in the Facebook group just means, it could mean anything from commenting to asking questions to reading some of the posts and just kind of, following along on what's happening. Just because you didn't post or ask a question doesn't mean that you are engaging. I know plenty of people that read all of the questions and they learn from each other's questions that maybe haven't contributed because they're not ready to, or they didn't have a question that they had yet. So engaging can also mean just following along. Again, rate yourself. Did you complete the weekly exercises that we gave based on, the weekly lessons? Did you talk to one new website prospect every day? And, honestly, guys, that's the big difference between someone that's selling 4 to 6 websites a month and someone that isn't. The person that's selling 4 to 6 websites a month, if they're doing that consistently, I guarantee you that they're talking to just at least one new website prospect a day, or even a little less than that. Did you book at least one appointment a week? Did you conduct any 15-minute consults? Did you do follow-up Fridays? Did you do those massive follow-up rounds every couple of weeks? Did you write down everybody that has seen an appointment and followed up with them? And did you actively expand your network? Meaning, did you actually try and meet new people using the exercises or any other ways that you had an opportunity to actually meet new people? Yes or no? And so what you want to do is just rate yourself 0 to 5. And, this is just for your own personal information. So feel free to be super honest, because if you can be transparent about that, then you'll be able to actually improve. And then at the bottom, just again, for your own personal information, just write down your results. How many contacts did you make? How many appointments did you set? Sales did you make? Plans shown? Appointments to show the overview that were done. How many new unfranchised owners did you prospect and sponsor? How many products did you sell? Did you move any new tickets to the next convention? These are all just good things for you to take a look at, so that if you got really great results, you can look at this activity and repeat it. Or if you didn't get the result that you wanted, look at this activity and decide where should you make some adjustments so that you can get the results that you want. There's not a right or wrong answer. The good news is that it's a 12-week action plan that is intended to be repeated, several times a year. Like Amber Yang says, it's not a 90-day fast track. It's 90 days plus 90 days plus 90 days. And every single session is going to be different for you. So just make sure that you are constantly measuring and monitoring what you're doing, so that you can make the adjustments that you need to make to have those results that you want. So as this contest is coming to a close, obviously this week you want to close as much of the business as you possibly can that you have in your funnel, because then you can get points for that closed business, the new business partners, the extra tickets that you need, all of that stuff, right? But from now until World Conference, when we announce the official next contest, remember it's a cycle. You still want to continue to prospect for new prospects, because if you can do that, then you're always going to have people in the funnel that you're working on, people in the funnel that are about to close on a new deal, and maybe even people that are going to become clients, that are ready to become clients or business partners even. But what you want to do is remember that it's not about going through this process 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutively, but rather at the same time. So if you're going through this process where this week you're just prospecting, next week you're just working on those people, the week after that you're still working on those people, and then the week after that you're still working on those people until some of them become clients, and you constantly doing that way, then what you're doing is you're building a business that is set up to only make sales or bring on new partners once every couple of months. And that is not what you want. What you want is a business that you spend a couple of weeks building up your funnel, so that you have a business that's constantly making sales and constantly generating new leads. And once you made your initial leads list, the next step is to think about how you can expand that. There are tons of great ideas for how to expand your network that we went over in this current contest, and also in the Spring 2014 playlist. So if you go to the YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is Official MAWC, click on that Web Volume Spring 2014. There's a lot of ideas in there on how to expand your playlist, and we're going to talk more about that on the next contest. But again, don't kill your momentum by stopping and waiting until World Conference, when we launch our next contest. The next 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks could be really great for you. And if you haven't gotten this momentum going or this cycle going yet, you can start working on it now. What we recommend for operating procedures is simple. On a small level, and we've talked about this already, Monday through Friday is dedicated to prospecting, appointment selling or selling appointments, and actual appointments that happen. And then on Fridays, we recommend following up. We call them follow-up Fridays, right? That's the small level. So you've got the couple of, it actually should be Monday through Thursday, 4 days of prospecting, appointment setting, and appointments, and 1 day of follow-up. On a big level, a macro level, it's the same thing. 4 weeks of prospecting, qualifying, scheduling, and appointments, and we do a 1-week cleanup, right? And that's what we mean by the massive cleanups, where you look at what you did over the previous month and you figure out what was left on the table and what needs massive follow-up, and you do that. Who do you have to follow up with? Who have you contacted? Who has had an appointment? Who booked one and didn't show up, right? Identify all of those candidates, not just for the web center business, but also for your own franchise. And then if you do that every 4 weeks, you're going to find you close more business. You will absolutely find that. The problem is so many people, you either put a lot of effort into prospecting, but you forget to follow up, and you're just always finding new people and never closing them, or you find a couple of great candidates, but the timing isn't right. And like Sue said earlier, the timing has to be right. It's about their timing, not yours. and you just beat them to death until they are ready, if they ever become ready, and then you've lost all of these weeks where you could have been also finding more candidates. So figure out what your operating procedures are. And again, if you scroll to the back of your 12-week action plan, you can see all of this and you can evaluate how you did for your daily prospecting and your macro prospecting, your 4-1 over a monthly basis, and find out, is your building for your web center business, and again also for your unfranchised, is it balanced? Are you finding an equal number of new and warm prospects, new clients, or people that are about to close? And if the answer is you've got a ton of warm and nothing of anything else, what can you do so that you can balance out your approach a little bit better so that you always have people closing and you always have new people on the table? Make sure you're building to the next major event. What we recommend that you do during the off season of any web volume contest, accountability group, or fast track that we're running is that you organize your own fast track with your team or just pick a partner. There are a few weeks left until the next major event. That should say World Conference. I wrote the wrong thing. And you can stay connected on Facebook and still get your questions answered. Talk with your group on Monday nights. Make sure you interact with people on a weekly basis and remain accountable. One other thing I'd like to recommend is, the big win is how many people can you get to Miami? I recommend that you talk to the leaders in your organization and you split up whoever is left in your group that maybe is not confirmed to attend the conference in Miami, and split it up so that everybody makes a personal phone call to those people, to their assigned people, so that more people come. I mean, if you send out a mass email, the chances are 10% or less are going to read it. But if you have 4 leaders and each of you take 10 people, then and you all make 10 phone calls to those 10 people, the chances are you're going to connect with them and you have a better chance of getting more people to go to the event. Become a problem solver, help people with travel arrangements, help people book flights, not hotels. And the reason we say that is because flights are non-negotiable. Hotels can always be canceled. So the best way to get someone to a big event is get them to book their flight and get a ticket in their hands. So a couple of announcements, prizes and winners. Our top 5 will be notified by January 12th, 2016. So on Monday, I am going to collect all of the data and I will identify who our top 20 are. Now, once we identify who our top 20 are based on what you have submitted, I will then submit your reports to our team to be vetted, where they will make sure if you said, hey, I sold 6 websites, that you actually sold 6 websites. If you say you sponsored 2 people, we're going to make sure that you actually sponsored 2 people. And we will vet all of those results and then out of those results, our top 5 will be born. We will notify you on January 12th or earlier, and let you know that you are a contestant in the top 5. If you choose to accept your place in the top 5, just respond to us within 3 business days, and then we will announce the winners, the top 3 winners, live on stage at World Conference in Miami. We're also going to vote for our most valuable coach, and we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. We did it on the website last time, and there was, a lot of voting from people outside of people in the Web Center program. And what we thought was, the people that should be voting on this award should be people that were coached by the coach. And so what we're going to do instead of setting it up the way we did last time is we're just going to set up a Facebook poll similar to the Facebook poll that we just recently posted in that group to get your input on whether or not you guys wanted to, see some coaching and assign teams and things like that. So look for that. That's going to be live on January 18th, and it'll just be like an 11-day period where you guys can make sure, and we just want to give people enough time to actually look at the options and choose which coach they felt like really went above and beyond and gave the most and that they found the most helpful. I also want to take a moment and just remind everybody today when we're done with the session, please say thank you to our web volume coaches because, they shared a lot of information about their personal clients and about their personal approach and about, all of the things that they're doing to make it happen. And they also dedicate a lot of time to answer all of our questions on Facebook, on these webinars, offline. I know for a fact that some of you are messaging some of our coaches and they're responding to those. And so, it's a labor of love. They are not compensated for this. We don't pay them. They just do it because they're overall awesome people. So, next time, or tonight when you get a chance, just say thank you to all of the coaches on Facebook and let them know that they're appreciated, because really they are. And uh, I know for a fact that I appreciate them more than you guys can imagine. I mean, you guys should too, because at the end of the day, if they weren't there, the only training, the only perspective that you can get from training is mine. And I value my perspective, and I think it's a good one, but it's not the only one. And that's what makes it. That's what made this round so great, was having so many perspectives and so many inputs from so many talented web center owners. And I think together we're so much bigger and we're so much more valuable as a group because of that. And then the final thing that I'm going to talk to you about tonight is the new contest that's going to be announced at World Conference. And I want you guys to get a little preview of that so you can lead from the front and be the first ones to join. So the sneak peek is this. Let me talk to you about what the goals of the next contest are going to be. So first of all, you're noticing it's not called Web Volume 5.0. It's being called Web Volume Team Edition. All right, and we've got two basic, goals for this next round of contest. The first one is an individual goal. It's a goal for you as an individual web center owner. We want you to have business growth. So we want you to be able to set and complete appointments for websites or web solutions, digital marketing, your unfranchised, and yes, for shop local. We're going to talk more about that, but the idea here is that the Web Center program is going to play an integral part into bringing local business to shop.com for the new Shop Local program. And so this week we're going to be finalizing the Shop Local element of the new Web Volume contest with Eddie Alberti and his team. We want you to sell web solutions. We want you to sell digital marketing products. We want you to personally sponsor, bring more local businesses to shop.com. And we want you to sell education, web center trainings, and major events. So there are still individual goals. We still have goals for you as an individual web center owner on the team edition of the Web Volume contest. But the second goal that we have is to foster teamwork, leadership, and community within your geographic locations. And so here's what we're going to do. We are actually going to assign people that register for the next contest to work in teams with an assigned coach based on their geographic location. So we're actually choosing team coaches in all regions of this country and in every market country that they're in. And to be a team coach, you have to have sold websites in the previous year, and you have to be a top seller in your region for the previous year, be a certified web center trainer, which would also qualify you as well. And so when I assign you to a team in a geographic location, you can know that your team leader is someone that's selling websites currently in your area. And so the idea is that we're going to build some local support systems for you, so that in addition to the web center Facebook group, in addition to me, in addition to the web volume coaches, where you might feel like you're somewhat lost in cyberland because we're not seeing you on an individual basis, now you might feel a little bit more supported because you have a local network. We also want to foster leadership by assigning team leaders, and also just seeing who grows into a team leader, who grows into those leadership roles. Your assigned coach will do a couple of things for you. They will reach out to you over email and Facebook once a week, at least once a week. And they're going to talk to you about, the upcoming lesson. They're going to remind you to report, and it's going to be coming from them rather than coming from just an automated system. They're also going to help direct you where to find your answers. So if you reach out to them and you say, oh, I'm looking for this, they're going to say, great, it's on the 411 site, or that's on mawebcenters.com, or that's a great question for the Facebook group. They're going to make sure that you know where to find the resources that you need. What they're not going to do is they're not going to be a supplement for tech support or sales support or anything like that. And so if that's a question for tech support, they're going to let you know exactly where that what resource you need to leverage to get the answers that you need, because their goal is not to teach you to be dependent on them, but rather to teach them how to be independent web center owners that are running successful businesses for yourselves. And so that's what we're looking to accomplish with that mentorship. If you yourself would like to be considered a coach, what I need you to do is send me a case study. Let me know one of your clients that you sold and their experience, and how did you meet them? What is their URL? What did the website do for them? Did you use tech support? Sales support? That kind of stuff. You do have to have sold a website or DMP in the previous year to be considered a coach, because we obviously want to assign people to work in groups and with a team leader that's actually currently selling. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. We're also going to go through the 12-week action plan like we have on this time. However, something that's different about this next round is that the lesson plan will be assigned 1 week prior to the webinar. So on Monday nights, you will have already watched the video and gotten a refresher. You will have already gone through the week and gone through the lesson, so that our Monday night sessions will be less of a lecture and more of a discussion on what you learned, where you can ask questions, where you can share your experiences, share some of the challenges or difficulties that you had around that lesson, so that myself and whatever coach of the week is assigned can actually answer your questions and discuss that stuff. And so what I love about that is, now that we've gone through this once, we can go through this on a more practical level and have some more discussions, because instead of me just saying, here's what you should do in theory, you will have already gone through it. So now you have better questions, and also our coaches will have gone through it, so they can share their personal experiences around that lesson as well. So that's what's going to be different there. We're also going to continue with our case studies, because the case studies were just so invaluable, and I feel like we learned so much from them. The weekly exercises are designed to fill your funnel, to help you to meet more prospects, qualify better prospects, and close more deals. Like I said, the case studies are going to continue with this. So our coach of the week is going to have 2 jobs this time. They're going to present a new case study, and also they're going to participate in the panel, talking about that lesson of the week, sharing their experience or answering your questions. So it's more of a discussion and less of a lecture. Our points system is different, and it will be a much simpler reporting system. So we will actually have everything funneling through the mawc411.com site rather than the web volume contest site, because we just feel like we just want to simplify and have everything on one website where all the resources live, versus just the contest stuff. The report that you send in every single week, instead of having 20 questions that you have to answer, we're only going to ask you your name, and your coach's name, and the things that you're seeing on the screen right now. Did you complete a web appointment through the sales calendar? Great. Did you complete DMP appointments through the sales calendar? Great. Did you make a web sale, a DMP sale? Did you personally sponsor? Did you get a ticket to a major event? Did you attend a web center training? Did you get a new shop local partner? And then when you submit a report, you'll automatically earn 10 points for that. And what's cool about that is, we went from 20 questions to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions. So it's much smaller. It'll take less time, and we're just basically trimming the fat. We're also going to vet these results every single week, so that we can, on Fridays, present you with a leaderboard, and we can say, okay, Team Polo is doing this well, Simgulat is doing this. They had 75% of their team reporting, and as a team they've earned this many points, and that's just meant to be fun, and so you can get an idea for how your team is doing. I can tell you that our awards and prizes will be announced at World Conference, but we are going to give individual awards for first, second, and third place, based on the individuals that receive the most amount of points, regardless of what team they're on. We're also having an incredible team prize that's going to be awarded to the team that earns the most amount of points and had the highest engagement. And I can tell you that without getting too in detail, that J.R. Reidinger is going to be involved in that team prize. So it's going to be something that you're really excited to work for and that you're going to be wanting to do. So the next round of contests is going to be exciting. It's going to be very community oriented, and I think we're going to get a lot accomplished. Even though the web volume contest comes to a close on Friday, I do want to let you guys know that our Love Local Biz contest is going through December 31st. 2015. On January 1st, 2016, we're going to choose our 3 winners at random based on participants of this contest. Our challenge of the week was to repost that image and participate, but you still have another week and a half left where you can participate in this and get yourself entered in, or get business owners that you know entered in to win some really great prizes as well. For more information on that, just go to mawebcenters.com and click on that home banner and you can learn all about it. All right, so thank you guys. I know we went over a little bit tonight, but there was a lot to go through. So what I want to do now is just announce our final shop.com winner of the week. And that winner is Susan Aprati. Congratulations, Susan. I see you interacting on our Facebook all the time, and you're always on the webinars, and you're always doing great stuff. So congratulations to you. Happy to see that you're our winner this week. All right, guys, I hope that you have had a fantastic experience. I hope you guys make the most of this last week. If you need any support at all, closing these last deals, or with follow-up strategies, get your questions answered now so that you can get the points for any of the deals that you're closing. But more importantly than that, make sure you continue to interact with us during this, what we're going to call an intersession, if you will, between now and our very next Web Volume Team Edition contest. All right, guys, have a great week, and I look forward to talking to everybody on our next contest.